Well, many times over the course of a football season, things will happen that those outside of the team really aren't aware of, and that actually was the case for the 2016 Grand Rapids Catholic Central squad, as we find out in our player reflections on that state championship team.
Do you have a team this year that maybe is under the radar, a sleeper team, a team you think would be really good that no one's talking about?
Oh, boy.
I've got a couple.
Yeah, you know, Catholic Central, I think, is one right out of the gate.
You feel really confident in the group of guys that we had, but ironically, we had a scrimmage right before our first game.
We got torched, and sometimes like that stuff, we were like, I don't know how we'll be this year, if we'll be like 4 and 5.
It was probably one of the worst scrimmages I've ever seen and been part of, to be honest with you.
We always looked at that 2010 team, and it's been so long, so we wanted to be that team that, you know what I'm saying, brings the state championship back to Catholic Central.
We definitely had a lot of work to go and a lot of things to learn, and hindsight now has worked out pretty well.
I felt like that was a year. Like, we had all that talent on one team, and, you know what I'm saying, great coaching, new stadium. Like, this was the year to do it.
We didn't have a stadium at first, so we playing all these home games at Grand Rapids Christian or Forest Hill Central. To finally hear that we're getting a home stadium, this is great news.
Our game of the week for the opening night of Blitz will be East Grand Rapids at Grand Rapids Catholic Central.
We definitely knew from the beginning that we were pretty good, especially when we beat East Grand Rapids, as bad as, you know what I'm saying, how we beat them. But we didn't play our best football game, so we knew we had ways to improve.
We lose to East a lot of years on those first games of the year, so I think people knew sooner rather than later.
Just in the final second of the game, it almost brought me to tears, just because, you know, they almost beat us every year. They got a good track record, and then to have us come out like this and get the job done, it's crazy.
I mean, I call this the holy war of West Michigan. I mean that with the utmost respect, because you look at these two teams, and they've been phenomenal the last few years. 20-3, the final here. West Catholic gets the win, and they get a piece of the OK Blue Conference crown.
That loss to West Catholic really just made us realize that we aren't, you know what I'm saying, a team that can't be beat. Anybody can be beat on any night. So that just kind of made us refocus.
We lost to West Catholic. From that moment, we kind of like took a step back and just really locked in on our responsibilities.
We came back to practice hard, way harder that week than we have before. Like, we were practicing hard, but not like how we were after that loss. That loss really put us in the mindset to go harder, not going to leave anything out on the field.
I think it kind of woke us all up and kind of got us refocused back on what we were and who we were and get back to work. And then I think when we did that, we were able to really get going.
This is like some of those games that don't get recognized once you win the state championship, because that's the big game everyone focuses on. Some of those games definitely had to be my favorite game, like semis going there, beating a team that beats you 3 years before.
We knew they had gotten our number in years prior, so we came in locked in, and we knew it was a big game.
We didn't really know if we could get it done versus the wing T. We couldn't stop their wing T all them years. We were this close every single year. It was for us to take it, so we actually would have got it done.
Grand Rapids Catholic Central looking for a state title tonight, taking on their toughest opponent of the season, Detroit Country Day.
They had the speed, the athletic ability, you know what I'm saying, they had great defense, great offense, and they, you know what I'm saying, high scoring. So it was kind of like we're facing that team of us that was in the mirror.
I mentioned Andrew Burnham earlier in an interview. He was one of our defensive ends on defense. Good buddy of mine growing up. Andrew was always the super positive one. He'd say every team we'd watch film on, we're going to beat this team, like easy. You know, he was just the go lucky guy. And we sit down to watch Country Day film, and he's sitting with his hand over his mouth. And that was the first time where I was like, that's not a good sign.
Growing up, I remember always watching the games right after Thanksgiving, just watch them and to be in that moment, like to soak it all in, it was really special.
Once in a lifetime feeling, I think, for sure. Like, there's big moments in your life, you get married, you have kids, things like that, but there'll never be a time where I get to come out of the visitor locker room where Tom Brady played at last weekend and see all the lights and the tunnel and everything like that. That is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for me.
You guys get one first down in the entire game. It happens to be huge, the game-winning touchdown pass.
I wouldn't say it went exactly how we planned. I mean, I don't think any of us planned to have as bad an offensive game as we did.
I was just more happy when we got that touchdown to be in the lead. It was like, okay, like I did something, because I didn't play. That wasn't my best game, so I was like, I got to do something to help out the team. So when that happened, I was like, okay, I finally, did something that can help us win the state championship.
That's been a lifelong dream ever since I was a kid. That was my number one goal coming into high school, going to Catholic Central, winning state championship.
That moment, winning that game and winning it not necessarily the way we thought it would go, I think was a really special moment.